Hey, Brandon Lewis here of Embedded Computing Design, and we're at Embedded World Day 1, and we're in Hall 1 with ADL Embedded Solutions, and this is JC Ramirez. How you doing, JC?
Doing good. Thanks.
Good. There's some really interesting stuff going on over at ADL. They're really evolving as a company and looking into new markets, new types of technologies, new applications. What can you tell us about that?
Well, probably a lot of people know us as a legacy military defense kind of company for a very long time. We've been in small form factor, rugged kinds of solutions, and for us, the industrial opportunity is kind of an extension of that. So we're leveraging our knowledge and expertise in rugged small form factor design and looking for those opportunities in the industrial environment. And finding our niches in that respect. There's with the advent of IoT, industrial IoT, and if we look at the evolution of where that is headed, we think that there's a lot of opportunities outside the benign factory environment. Out in the cold winter, hot summer, and as soon as you get into those types of environments, then things like wide temperature, things like small form factors, begin to make a lot of sense.
It seems like a really logical progression from what your core competency has been into markets that need technologies like that out on the edge, for example. What can you show us that you're working on over here?
Well, if you were here last year, you probably saw us introduce a small form factor single board computer based on the Bay Trail Atom, what we call the ADL E3800 SEC. It's a very simple single board computer, a couple of Ethernet ports, USB 2.0, USB 3.0, and a display port with some storage on board. But for a lot of the things that are happening in cyber threat security, edge device kinds of things, that pretty much really is all they need. They need a mechanism to monitor network traffic. So they need an incoming Ethernet port, they need an outgoing Ethernet port, they need enough storage to hold their firewall cybersecurity application that they can real time monitor that traffic and take action as necessary to protect whatever the downstream devices might be. So we've certainly had a lot of success with this platform. This year, what we're introducing extensions to the same platform that allows us a mechanism to give customers a little bit more flexibility. So in its most basic function, really all the customer needs to do is monitor the incoming and outgoing, but inevitably, depending on what the use scenario is, there's always a need for a little bit of something extra, even if it's only a couple of GPIO pins or an RS-232 port or something like that.
I was going to say, what's this interface here?
Yeah, it never goes away. Right. It never goes away.
But that's great because a lot of these companies who are trying to transition into industrial IoT, we're not talking about completely replacing anything. We're talking about retrofitting and upgrading, and they need a migration path.
Yeah, no, good point, Brandon. In fact, one of the things that we've realized is that this whole idea of small form factor design is very attractive to these customers because, in many cases, they really are retrofitting edge devices into existing infrastructure where the space is limited and it's fixed. It's not going to expand, So you need to be able to open up that cabinet and stick 5-10 little boxes in there that do the cyber threat security function, and work with what you got. So absolutely true.
Well, that's some really exciting stuff. Brandon Lewis here with Embedded Computing Design, and we're at Embedded World Day 1. This is in Hall 1 at the ADL Embedded booth. This is JC Ramirez. Make sure you take a little bit of time and stop by.